Kohat is significant because Kohat had a Hindu minority.
7%.
So while he talks about the rampant riots that took place all over India, nowhere was there displacement of Muslim population. But Kohat, where the minority was Hindu, there was actually a displacement of population. It's very, very reminiscent of Kashmir.
So the British troops who were stationed in Rawalpindi cantonment had to be called to evacuate the 7% population where 93% was Muslims. And Kohat is currently in NWFP. This is the nature of the so-called Hindu-Muslim unity. By the time Khilafat is done, everybody says, so Annie Besant, who was until then the extremist, moves to the moderate side. Because if extremism is Gandhi, with the support of Khilafatists, I don't want to be on this side. Because she said this is going to lead to anarchy. Not just that. There were religiously motivated defections in the army in favor of the Khilafatists in the Muslim regiments. So, the Hindu population and leaders who were concerned for Hindu population safety were worried. If these kind of defections happen, and the British army is left defenseless, or it doesn't have the numbers needed, what happens to the Hindu population? Then these were the kind of concerns. Then they realized that this nonsense is not going to work. Let's go back to the Tilak model, where Tilak effectively said, don't fight for a place in the bureaucracy. Fight for a place in the Imperial Legislative Assembly and be a part of the change from within the system. So he changes the moderates' approach to colonial administration by saying that I might as well learn from Syed Ahmad Khan that if I can't fight them militarily, I might as well occupy those positions and change it. That leads to the establishment of the organization that Mr. Sanyal mentioned previously, the Swaraj Party. Motilal Nehru and all these people establish the Swaraj Party and say that because of the non-cooperation movement, the Congress stays out of all the elections. Muslim League is constantly contesting in elections. And therefore, for them to become part of the legislative debates and for them to become part of the policy-making discussions, they decide to contest elections. The Justice Party comes around the very same period. Then you have the Singh Sabha set up across the country, which is, as Mr. Sanyal said, the precursor to the Khalistan movement, which is where the division starts between the Hindu identity and the Sikh identity.
So I will also, he ends the book with the Mopla riots, and I will also end my last question with it, because it's only fair that they ask you questions. But the way I'll do it is this.
How fair is it? 5 minutes?
Yeah. You wanted me to shut up earlier. So
I gave you a hint. You didn't get it. Go on.
So I'm being bullied. So the thing is that this is an extract from a book on modern India by Arjun Dev. I did a Twitter crowdsource information on this. It ruled the roost of India's education system for about 20 years at least. And this is what they say about the Mopla riots. The movement was a great success. I think this is for the non-cooperation. And the firings and arrests could not stop it. Before the year 1921 was out, 30,000 people were in jail. They included most of the prominent leaders. Gandhiji, however, was still free. A rebellion had broken out in some parts of Kerala. The rebels were mostly Mopla peasants. Hence, it is called the Mopla Rebellion. The rebellion was suppressed by terrible brutalities. More than 2,000 Mopla were killed and about 45,000 arrested. An example of the brutalities was suffocation to death of 67 Mopla prisoners in a railway wagon when they were being shifted from one place to another. Full stop.
Right.
So now please show the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a compare and contrast in how history is represented in this country.
And the reason why I say this is that institutionalized history books are teaching us this. This is the government of India commissioned history books from the NCERT that is doing this to us.
So here's a comparison.
Where are we to go? Yeah.
69 people get burnt alive in Sabarmati Express. Subsequently, around 2,000 people are killed in Gujarat. The official numbers are close to 900 are Muslims and close to 400 are Hindus. Nobody talks of the 69 people who were burnt alive in the Sabarmati Express. Now when it comes to the Mopla riots, we are only taught of the 67 people who were burnt in a railway wagon. How many people participated in the Mopla genocides? I have given the numbers after calculating it from at least 3 reports. Close to 49,000. 49,000 people were out with the Mopla knife. 49,000 people were the number of participants, and take it from me, this is the number of the average size of an army during those periods. If you're looking at the medieval period, or let's say the 12th or the 14th century, you're looking at 10,000 soldiers, 30,000 soldiers and 40,000 soldiers. Close to 50,000 people were out on the streets. Caliphates were established in Kerala, in Malabar. Freedom was announced, and you had generals being established, kings being established, Islamic Caliphate kings being established, or caliphs being established. And how they went about killing these people, and the plunder goes on, I think, from August 1920 till February 1921 for a period of 6 months. 6 months. They had to bring reinforcements from Bangalore, from Madras, and so many places. They didn't know what was happening. Literally, law had taken a vacation. The British had absolutely no control over that particular period. They had to do search and combing operations for 6 months to kill them, because it's a mountainous region full of wild terrain, which cantonments, let's say companies coming from outside, don't have any knowledge of. Exactly the problem that Indian Army faced with Ulfa in Assam or in Kashmir. So for 6 months this goes on. Gandhi continues. He continues. Relentless. Annie Besant writes stinging, scathing letters. Any other man should have committed suicide upon receiving that letter, if he had some sense of shame and conscience. She details how people were paraded naked. Falsified affidavits were filed before the Supreme Court by a so-called activist on ripped fetuses about Gujarat. But that was the exact thing that happened in Malabar. This was a reality, reported by multiple people, including Muslim members of the Congress who were writing to Gandhi, please take a note of this.